Welcome to Together at GRCC. My name is Ryan Nausieda. Today we'll be talking to a guest who went to Aquinas for her bachelor's degree and Grand Valley State University for her master's. And currently she is the director of the Ford Fieldhouse. Today we will be talking to Whitney Marsh. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Whitney. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So what do you enjoy most about your job?
Yeah, I absolutely love working with our students every day. We have anywhere from 15 to 20 student staff members that work for us at the Fieldhouse. So working with them day to day is one thing that I really enjoy, but also just being open to all students for recreation or wellness purposes. And so being able to learn what they like to do, how we can better assist them in their collegiate journey really kind of is my why. I want to make sure that they have a positive experience anytime they walk into the Fieldhouse, but just at GRCC in general. And so anything that I can do to help with that process, I enjoy.
That's great. Yeah. What kind of facilities and resources does the Fieldhouse offer, like staff and different community members? And as well as students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the Fieldhouse, we kind of have three different levels of that building. So on our kind of lower level is our fitness center. So currently that holds cardio equipment and selectorized weight equipment, and it also holds our locker rooms. So as long as a student is taking one credit in that specific semester, they automatically have access to that space and then the locker room that they choose. And then faculty and staff, as long as they're working here and an active employee, they get access. One thing I did want to mention, we do ask faculty and staff to opt in to that membership. So they just need to complete our application on our website. But once they do that, they only need to do it once, and then they will have access added. And then on the second floor is where the arena is, or our gym space. So in there, we have open recreation times for basketball, for drop-in volleyball. We even have pickleball as well.
Oh, nice. It's very popular
yes,
now.
It is. And then we do have an indoor track actually around all of those courts too. So if you didn't want to work out outside or the weather wasn't great, there's that opportunity there. And then on the upper level, we currently have our free weight room space. So that holds all of our plate-loaded machines. So a lot of maybe the heavier lifting pieces of equipment are up there. So if you are a member or utilizing the space, all three of those areas are open and available to you. Some areas are open more than others just because of the different activities that might take place in the gym versus in the fitness center. So we do try to keep our website updated as much as we can with the hours that are available. And then we do sell community memberships to our alumni, but also to community members in either 1 month, 6 month, or year durations. And so that is a opportunity for some of our external community members to be a part of the GRCC family.
That's great. Yeah, I know. I do love the track in the winter. It is nice because it's warm.
Yeah.
But is it like 10 times around as a mile?
It is.
That,
yep.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's really nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's fun, especially when the sports teams are practicing. It gives a nice vibe to my workout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feels a little more serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a multi-use facility. So on top of the recreation space that we have and the hours available, we do have our sport teams that utilize that space for practices and games. We'll have classes that take place in there for credit. And then we also, have a lot of events as well. So it's a very multi-use facility.
Yeah. What are the most popular activities or events that happen in the Fieldhouse?
Yeah, so the three main departments or programs that utilize this space, not that others can't, but our majority users are the exercise science department, the criminal justice department, and then also our athletic program. So criminal justice and exercise science have classes for credit that will either be in the gym space, or we do have 4 classrooms in the Fieldhouse as well. So they might do lecture-based class or activity-based class in there, but also in the gym. And then, of course, our athletic programs are the kind of the next priority on the list after our academic programs. And so our men's and women's basketball teams and volleyball team practice and play in that space. But then in the winter, as you were kind of mentioning, all of the outdoor sports will also come into the gym to practice. We actually have 2 batting cages that are suspended in the ceiling that come down when we need them to for softball and baseball. We could also have our golf team hit golf balls into those nets. And then, men's and women's cross country, men's and women's soccer, they also utilize that space. So the availability does get a little bit smaller in the winter for the gym space just because all of those groups want to be inside.
Yeah, I remember. So that building used to not have air conditioning, and that was it was pretty brutal. I'm so happy that there's air conditioning over there now.
Yeah, I guess was fortunate enough to start working at GRCC like 2 weeks before the renovation opened. Okay. So I never had to actually live and work in that space when it didn't have air conditioning.
Bring in ice packs.
But I think some people are still, pretty happy we have that. And I've heard over time that it was unbearable at times.
What is the Ford Fieldhouse staff? What do they do to promote a healthy lifestyle on campus?
Yeah, so we do have an awesome group of student staff. We have part-time staff, and then, of course, we have full-time staff. So with our job in operation, we do try to maintain just a very safe, inclusive environment for the internal and external community. And so trying to make sure our facilities are up to date with the best equipment that we have or different workouts that we can provide. I know for our HR department, they do put on faculty and staff wellness classes that take place in our facility. Currently, again, as long as you're a part of the employee group, you can utilize those classes for free. And then we do, we're excited actually about a renovation that we'll have coming up, and we are looking to add more programming for students, faculty, and staff when that facility comes online.
Oh, great. Mm-hmm. What different types of partnerships do you have with local organizations or sports teams, and how do they benefit the college?
Yeah, so kind of leading up to what I was just talking about, as far as we are really excited to look at adding those kinds of partnerships or programs to the facility. Currently, we do not have a ton of additional programming, and I think a lot of that is due to staffing, really. But we are looking at kind of making that a priority when the new rec center comes online. That will be happening in August of 2025. And so we are currently in conversations right now with Grand Valley State University, for instance, and trying to figure out some ways how we can partner and create more opportunities for our students to take advantage of, I guess, in the realm of recreation and wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So the facilities, how do you meet the diverse range of students? So you have athletes, but you might have someone that is just learning how to work out. Is that hard to balance, or?
No, I don't think so. We do have quite a range of different groups that would utilize the facility. So one thing we do offer is just a tour of the space. So if you're not in there a lot, you don't have classes in there, you might not know where anything is. So all of our staff are trained to do that and can at any time. It doesn't need to be scheduled. Also, we kind of can do like an equipment demonstration. So if somebody didn't know how to use a specific machine in a certain area, our full-time staff are trained to kind of walk them through that and show them how to use it. So one, they don't hurt themselves, but also to maximize, the exercise that they're doing. And actually, a lot of our fitness equipment, which again is on the lower level of the facility, it has really nice pictures with diagrams of what muscle group each piece of equipment will hit and what type of motion you should be doing with your arms or legs on each piece. So I think that's super helpful because, again, if you're looking at something and you've never used it before, you might not even know where to sit, let alone how to use it.
I've seen those YouTube videos before where they have like the people failing using the equipment. You don't want to be that person.
No, you don't. So the pictures are super nice. And then there are like QR codes as well on each. So you can, screenshot that and be able to go into their website, and then they'll give you a little bit more information. But at least, on a quick glance of that picture, you'll be able to tell how to use that. And so really, it doesn't really matter the skill level. We have equipment that is for beginners, but then we also do have equipment for our athletes who might do it every day.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what are some challenges and rewards of running such a bustling building?
Yeah. So challenges, kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, where because the facility is a multi-use space, there are a lot of groups that want to use it, and especially in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to juggle that schedule can sometimes be a challenge. And that is, again, making sure our classes are scheduled in there first and they have everything they need. Athletics is kind of the next priority on our scheduling list, so making sure that they have all of the practice time that they need. And then from there on, it could be on-campus events from student life or campus activities boards. Of course, open recreation is another really big priority for us. We always want to make sure we maintain some open hours for the general student, faculty, or staff member that might want to come and just shoot around or use the track. So making sure that that is also always a priority in the schedule so that it's not overshadowed by maybe another group that want to get in there. So, yeah. So the schedule is challenging, but also I kind of love puzzles and personally. So it really is like
Sudoku?
Yes, I love those too.
Okay.
So it's kind of just being able to put all the pieces together. Thankfully, we work with an amazing group of instructors, professors, coaches that get it. They understand that it is a multi-use facility. They understand the facility we only have one of those on campus, and so everyone does need to be flexible, and they might not get everything that they want, but they know we're coming from a really good place and wanting to make sure we try to make each group as happy as we can and make it as fair with the time as we can. Some rewards, as I mentioned before, working with our students and student athletes is a huge reward for all of us. I'm probably speaking for my staff, but they would say the same thing if they were here. I personally was a college student athlete when I was younger, and so just being around athletics and being around the student athletes, I am super passionate about that.
Were you at Aquinas?
I was.
What sport did you play?
I played basketball for 4 years, and then I tried softball as well for one of those 4 years. Yeah, it just became too much.
Oh, I understand.
To me, to do
I know
both
student
sports.
athletes put a lot of energy into the academic side, but also it has to be, putting so much time into your sport as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. It is sometimes a full-time job outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
And then you might also have a job outside of the classroom. So time management is a huge portion of being a successful student athlete for sure. But yeah, so it's nice to be able to relate to some of the student athletes who might be going through some of the same things that I did. And again, just being there and being a support to them is definitely rewarding. And of course, being around college athletics as well.
Yeah.
And then just in general, the student staff that work for us, the part-time staff, the full-time staff, I think we all really work well together. A huge part of your job is spending time with these people day in and day out. And I don't feel like I go to work every day because I get to do something that I love to do with
That's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, with great people around me. And so that's been another huge reward, and I've been super fortunate in this role and previous roles to feel that way.
Do you have any new projects or any long-term projects that excite you?
Yeah, so I mentioned this a little bit before, but we are currently under renovation. So the Fieldhouse, what you currently see now with the fitness center and the arena and weight room space, is kind of one side of the building. The other side of the building was the pool facility. We did close that permanently in December of 2023. And we have been in active construction for the last few months. And so we're super excited that that project is underway. And some of the features that that will hold is, so we will have kind of a newer, updated fitness and wellness level. And so that will not only hold like some cardio machines and selectorized machines, but it will also hold the free weights. So it'll be nice to kind of have all of that in one area versus right now it's kind of on two different levels. And then that will include updated locker rooms. The actual pool facility is turning into an indoor turf field, which is going to be awesome. It's a different type of activity we've never had on campus. Also, some of our sport teams who go off site for practices might be able to now stay on site to do that on the turf field. We also might be able to offer more classes and different opportunities in those departments I mentioned earlier because of the different surface we'll be on. It will also have a batting cage in there, so it gives us the flexibility to have more of that open rec time because we might be able to shift groups into one area or the other. We'll also have student lounge spaces, so kind of took one of the priorities for the design team was to kind of create like a third space that students could go to if they're not in class or they're not in the library studying. Where else do they want to go? And so one of the things is, well, let's create kind of a student lounge space where they could come hang out. We'll have like a microwave and a refrigerator and some vending machines and, some areas where they could just quick heat up their food if they just want to, sit in a little area and study. We will have a combination of like open table and like seating arrangements, but then we'll have 3 soundproof like Zoom rooms. So if somebody needed some heads down time or wanted to attend a virtual class just by themselves, there will be spaces like that in this area to utilize. And then there's a couple additional kind of like conference rooms or working areas. So if you maybe had a group of 4 or 6 students that were working on a project, you could utilize some quieter time, but a larger space for that kind of work. So we're super excited for that.
Really exciting.
Yeah. The pool side of the building wasn't used as much as the Fieldhouse side. And so looking forward to having a vibrant facility on both sides when this opens. And again, that's August of 2025 is currently the plan.
That is very exciting. Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate your time and thank you for coming in. Do you have any additional things that you would like to say that we haven't talked about?
No, I think we hit a lot of things I wanted to mention. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you having me and go Raiders.
Yeah, go Raiders. Together, we got this.